Well, this is the week that if you're not on vacation, you will wish you were, or you can still feel like you are, because that big planet Jupiter, that is notoriously our Santa Claus, our Kris Kringle, who brings good luck, not by magic, but by endowing the vibrations with optimism so that you feel lucky and therefore manifest it. So Jupiter is making some beautiful aspects all this week, and he also is finishing a 4-month time of being in retrograde. So he turns direct this week, and we are ready for those sweeping changes that have been in the works for 4 months. And Jupiter has this way in Sagittarius of pole vaulting over problems or obstacles that seemed to be big before, but you'll find out now were simply dissolved in the sunshine of believing in yourself. Hi, I'm Judith Royal. I'm an archetypal astrologer, and this is your astrology weather forecast for the week of August 5th to the 11th, 2019. As I watch for a sign of the times, which to me means watching those sparkling synchronicities that seem to light up our path. So last week, on the 31st of July, we had that very creative and also romantic new moon in Leo, the Lionhearted. So I watched on that day, there was this good news story, and I think it encapsulates the whole energy that is available to us right now if we choose to tap into it. So on the 31st, there was a story of this guy. His name was Patrick Hoglandoff, if I said that right. Anyway, it's this 30-year-old guy who lives in Phoenix, Arizona. And there was a photo of him standing by the side of the road in, by the way, 110-degree weather. And he had copied and was handing out 200 resumes. And he had a big smile to go with each one of them. So just as it happened, a woman, Melissa, she drove by and she paid attention to his smile in particular and the fact that he was weathering quite a hardship to be able to try to get a job. So she was inspired and she went to her office and posted online his request and his resume, which led to literally thousands of well-wishers and employers offering him good job openings. And so the end result, of course, was that Patrick got a new job after he had been spending a very long time putting resumes out on the internet. So one person can make a difference. That's my takeaway from that. Always remember that Patrick and Melissa just proved it, right? And we are in this incredible age of technology, and it is a breakthrough tool for connecting with one another, no question. But always remember, you are the force, and nothing happens without your action, your initiating it. So speaking of this heart-to-heart connection, which is what Patrick and Melissa had, I was also watching what did those cosmic lovers, Mars and Venus in Leo, bring to that Leo new moon party last week. Because after all, sometimes I, and you too, I'm sure, can only see some of these predictions with a little bit of 2020 hindsight. But also for that new moon in Leo, there was an article from the Wall Street Journal, and it was about people who begin relationships sort of later in life are staying together because they live apart. So it is amusing in one way, but it is offering us, and Leo, Venus in Leo and Mars in Leo are very creative and playful, and offering us sort of some comedy and a little humor to say that we need a new paradigm of what it means to be in a committed, monogamous relationship. And the new paradigm meaning that we are not going to any longer imprison ourselves or limit ourselves in any way by antiquated rules of the past. In particular, rules that are prison houses. And those are just rules. Sometimes they're laws on the book, but mainly they're rules of tradition and conditioning that we carry in our minds. And right now is such a great time to exorcise those, bring them up into the light where they will dissolve. And remember, you cannot unburden yourself of anything from the past without first bringing it to light. So telling your secrets, unearthing those traumas in your unconscious mind, in that amygdala, whatever way that you are drawn to do that, do it. Because you want to now be in a position in this world because of these big news cycles, this big shift that we're in. You want to be in a position to have no secrets, really. Now, it doesn't mean you publicize your most private moments, no. But you share them with people close to you, with people who have some meaningful relationship with you, that includes trust, right? And the big leap, the big shift we want to make in our relationships is to trust love. Knowing that love is the energy that does connect all of us. I mean, our minds are all connected, but they're not connected in the darkness. No, they're connected in light. And they're connected by those electrical resonances that go between us, that if we pay attention, we realize that through love, we are connected with everyone. And for those someone specials that we would like to have in our lives, it is the love that will bring us peace and happiness. So let me give you the days for this coming week when that will be especially true for you. For you air and fire signs, and yes, I did say air, we have that airy, intellectual Libra moon on Monday, starting off our week. But she's going to be making some lovely music with both the goddess of love and who's in Leo, and the sun who's in Leo. And Jupiter is starting out the week with just sort of a little friendly twinkle in his eye for us. But the major ones with Jupiter are going to come on Wednesday and Thursday. I'll get to that in just a minute. So the air signs, you get a great big breath on Monday, but for earth signs and water signs, there is going to be some inner tension that you're going to feel. And know that that tension is trying to point out a turning point for you, something that really needs to shift. Then on Tuesday, the moon will enter Scorpio kind of later in the morning. And there we do have on Tuesday the anxiety, angst day of the week, because the moon in Scorpio is opposing the god of lightning. So, the moon is sweet and soft, and in Scorpio is a very intensely feeling, very clairvoyant moon. So lightning strikes just don't fit, right? So you might feel, especially if you are a water or earth sign, that you're getting hit by those lightning bolts, meaning nervous, jittery, etc. And look at the place then where your unconscious mind is trying to show you something. And we used to talk about Freudian slips, but now just think of them as synchronicities, because something annoying, for example, might happen, but rather than seeing it as discord, see it as a sign. It's where you need to change. Now, Wednesday, I mentioned, is that big thing with Jupiter, really fortunate because the Sun in Leo is going to make a harmonious trine with Jupiter in Sagittarius. Now, Jupiter turning direct this week, and that will be on August 11th. But as any planet turns direct or retrograde, they slow down in that outer elliptic of their orbit. And so the energy from them is very intense, very pointed. So we get a great influx of certainly creativity, because Leo and Sagittarius together, that's big combustion, and things heat up, but in the good way of you feeling motivated to really get out there in your life. Again, that's going to be especially true for air and fire signs. Air is Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius, and fire is Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. Wednesday, August 7th, is also the first quarter moon, so it's that first testing point for pruning what we have planted, the creative thoughts that we're using. And that quarter moon is in Scorpio. So for you, water, and especially if you're Scorpio, water and earth signs, you're going to have a spiritual upliftment that day that might be aha experiences or epiphanies, whatever you would like to call it. You definitely count on the fact that you should know what you know intuitively, because the moon in Scorpio is going to be in perfect harmony with Neptune, the visionary planet, in Pisces. So water signs, Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. Wednesday is a spiritual day for you of expansion. And also earth signs, it's going to be a spiritual answer that grounds you into what you need to know. And of course, earth signs are Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. I really can't decide which day is going to be more fun than the other. It's just really such a beautiful, beautiful week. But Thursday, the 8th, is maybe going to be my favorite. I don't know. But the Venus, the goddess of love, is still in Leo, of course, and she is going to go in and make a harmonious music with Jupiter in fiery Sagittarius. And remember, he's just sort of sitting laser pointed with big new horizons for us. And so Venus always sweetens everything for love, for your relationships. So a kismet meeting, something where it just turns out to be so fortunate that you ran into such and such a person or whatever, but your relationships are blessed on Thursday, and especially because we have the moon also going into Sagittarius. There is the potential all this week, but especially this Friday, the 9th of August, for healing. And this particular healing involves Chiron, the sign of the wounded healer, so that our own personal version of an Achilles heel is shown to us, so that we can honor the places where we are soft and vulnerable. Do what you can to slow down. This week it will not be easy to slow down, but to slow down and just notice that that is part of your humanness in this particular lifetime. Friday, again, is an extremely lucky day. We still have the moon in Sagittarius fire, and she is going to run right into Jupiter. So the moon and Jupiter are conjunct, they're joined like Siamese twins, meaning your intuition, your hunches, definitely paying off for you now. Also, that Sagittarius moon is making a beautiful trine on Friday to Venus. She's still in Leo, and to the sun in Leo. So we have a day just blessed with happiness and with happy relationships. So don't waste it. By all means, do not spend any day this week alone. Because the connectivity is the key this week, but also in the weeks to come. And you know, I've been telling you to have a vacation. And by the way, next week I will take my vacation. So I will be back with your forecast for the 19th of August. But I'll say more about that in a minute. So Saturday the 10th, the moon stays in Sagittarius until late that night and is still in a beautiful trine and now with Mars. So the lovers, Venus and Mars, are still in Leo, and now the moon is trining that. So you cannot get a more beautiful trio for romance, for really happy relationships. And what makes a happy relationship work the best is when you have a shared spiritual goal. Because the stuff of life can be just crowd us out and tempt us to hold resentments against one another because we're constantly having that ego in ourselves, judging one another. But I think the playfulness of all this, Leo, lifts us out of that, because you really cannot hold a resentment when you are also laughing. So the big day, August the 11th, is worth marking on your calendar, because I've been talking about Jupiter going direct, and it's precise on that day, Sunday the 11th. And also, as Jupiter turns forward, Uranus, the god of lightning, turns retrograde, all on the same day, meaning this is a day where both of those planets are laser focused towards us, bringing innovation and optimism. Also on the 11th, Mercury, the messenger planet, who's been direct all this week, thank goodness, and he is entering Leo. So, one of the reasons I've been saying this is the time for vacation, for playfulness, especially for romance, is because we have now, for this one short period of time coming up, next week, we will have Venus, Mars, the Sun, and Mercury in Leo. It's the very definition of big, warm, loving hugs and feeling part of your tribe and experiencing that sense of protectiveness you have with one another when you love someone. In fact, why don't you join me in the happiness of extending love to everyone? You can just do this with your thoughts, where you see the light beyond whatever someone's ego is stirring up. It doesn't matter. We are all one. We are literally all connected. We're in the same dance together. And it is a dance of abundance and prosperity, because the world really is in every way because getting better, because inside ourselves, that's what we are creating. So don't look at the bad news. And I'll be back with more good news, not next week, but the following. And next week, I'm going to be sitting by the beautiful Pacific Ocean in Half Moon Bay. And I'll send you the vibes from that. So go have some fun, go fall in love, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.